Right, look, I get it. It's May the 4th and this is a Star Wars video. I know that's extremely low-hanging fruit, but what do you expect from a man who calls himself Sonic Yoda? If anything, I've shown real restraint by not doing a Star Wars video in the entire 8 years of this channel's existence. So shut up! Anyway, that's Star Wars Arcade, eh? This 1994 32X port of the 1993 arcade game is one of the very few instances where I think people are more familiar with the 32X game than the original version. I think the issue is it's largely overshadowed by the original 1983 arcade game, by which this shares numerous similarities with, making it quite difficult for the 93 game to stand apart. Sure, it's true 3D this time as opposed to the vector graphics of the original, but it's largely the same first-person dogfights with TIE fighters and then the Trench Run assault on the Death Star. There is a cool cooperative mode this time around, with one player flying and one player shooting, but that's its main difference outside of the art style being more of the flat-shaded polygon variety. The 32X port plays largely the same as the arcade version, with only some minor downgrades. The in-game models are clearly of a lower poly count than the arcade version, and the performance takes the usual hits you'd expect. But thankfully it still plays well and follows the events of the original port very well. There's even an enhanced 32X mode which guts the Super Star Destroyer assault in favour of more TIE fighter battles. This lengthens the experience somewhat, but at the cost of a little variety, which is a bit of a shame. The original arcade version is here, as well as a new training mode to help you get to grips with the controls, and it's a welcome addition. The main issue with the game is simply a case of being an arcade port. The game is quite brief, focusing more on its flashy presentation instead of its gameplay. That's not to say this isn't a fun game, but the real thrill being presented to the player is reenacting the Death Star assault, not giving you a gameplay experience full of skill and depth. There is definitely some skill involved here, and the enemy's AI is pretty robust. They definitely hit their mark more than they miss, and with limited shields you'll definitely want to fly more erratically to not make your ship such an easy target. It's definitely going to take you a few goes before you eventually get to see the end of the game, but it won't take you long. There's maybe an hour's worth of entertainment here before you shelve it, and while I don't think players won't want to revisit this, it's not the sort of game that you'll replay very often. Its quick, flashy arcade thrills are certainly enjoyable, but it's not worth hunting down and spending a lot of money on, as is tradition with 32X games. This is definitely one for the Star Wars fans.